Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming today. And it's always a wonderful time in the police department anytime we have these recognition type days or days of promoting people, because Lord knows in the police department we don't always have a lot of nice days because the nature of our work and some of the things that we have to deal with. But today is one of those wonderful days, so we're going to enjoy this one. And we even had the sun come out, so that's how we know it's really special. But again, welcome and thank you for coming. And it truly is going to be a really nice, wonderful day for several people, and two most in particular. So I just want to acknowledge some people in the audience, my command staff. We have Deputy Chief. We have my lieutenant here, and they do a fantastic job for us day in and day out. So thanks, guys. And my staff, and I see also we have a lot of the FD here. Thanks, guys, for coming. Really appreciate it. And we also have some members of our Board of Selectmen. Mr. Kokolas, Peter, is here. And Dean Nicastro, Mr. Nicastro is here. So thank you for coming. And our town manager is also here, Jill. And we appreciate all the support. Our town manager, Jill Goldsmith, our Board of Selectmen, very supportive of the police department. And it's really important to have that support, so thank you very much. And so with that, we're going to have some recognition before we get into the promotional ceremony. We're going to have some recognition of some employees. We've really had we have a great team at the Chatham Police Department. A great group of people. I'm so proud of the work they do day in and day out, and it is, you know, I'm just blessed to have really good people, and I appreciate and thank them for all their good work. And I think it's important to recognize them just through their years of service. And today we have 3 individuals who are hitting milestones, important milestones in their years of service. And I'm going to ask them to come up front, and I'm going to call them out. And dispatcher Aaron Hemian. Just a word about our dispatchers. To me, dispatchers are one of the most important functions in the police department. Obviously, our officers do obviously an important job out there, but they can't get it done without the work that the dispatchers do. And very often, the work of a police officer out in the field is dependent on the information gathered by the dispatcher. And I just want to recognize that the dispatch function in police departments is so critical and so important. We also have Sean Ryder, who's hit the 10-year mark. And you're going to see Sean again, so get used to him. Joseph Amara, who's hit the 5-year mark. And with that, I'm going to ask our town manager if she'd like to say a few words to our fine employees who have hit some important years of service.
Thank you, Chief. I wanted to echo the words of Chief Paulina to thank you for your service. We really have a great team with you here, with everybody in the room. It's very exciting for me to be the town manager, and I know the community very much appreciates everything you do. So, yay longevity. I'm very happy to give you town pins. It's part of our one town, one team pin. Some of you might have it. We're going to get some other promotional pins as well in the near future, but I wanted to present these to you. And you don't have to put them on right now.
Thank you, Jill. And again, thank the three of, along with all my staff and everyone in the police department who does a fine job. But today, it's so important to recognize three employees right here today who day in and day out do a great job and have hit an important milestone in their career. Because I think every 5 years, 10 years, you hit 20 years, and you know, the next thing you know, you're looking at retirement. So, like I am. But in any event, it's a great honor to work with all three of you, and the job you do. I'm just so proud and so thankful. So. So next, we're going to move on with the promotion to sergeant. I just want to say a few words about what a sergeant does. What is the sergeant's rank in a police department? Obviously, for all of us in the police department, we know what a sergeant does. We know what the rank is. We know what the function is. But for those of you who, not certain what the ranks are, so a sergeant is a first-line supervisor. And why is that important? I would say, it's extremely important. I mean, if I didn't show up for a few days at work, probably nobody would notice. But when a sergeant doesn't show up for a few days at work, that's really going to hurt the organization, because they're the ones out in the field who get things done. And I can sit here and ask and direct all I want in terms of policy, procedure, how we want things done, how I want things to be accomplished, the manner in which they get accomplished. That's all great. That's all good stuff, and it's important. But in terms of getting it done, the sergeant's rank is extremely important, because that's kind of where the rubber meets the road, and where the things that we want accomplished in the police department, that's where they get accomplished. So the importance of first-line supervisors and sergeants is extremely important. And it's often said in police departments, and this is probably true in any organization, that your level of supervision is only as strong as your weakest supervisor. And so we want all our supervisors to be strong, to be effective, and to do the job that they're supposed to do. And I just wanted to mention, we have a strategic operating plan that we go by. And it's not a strategic plan in the conventional sense, but it's a strategic operating plan. It's in a sense like our Bible, what we believe in, how we do business, how things should be done in the police department. And in terms of leadership, which is going to be an extremely important issue for the two individuals who are getting promoted today, leadership is going to make or break how effective they are. So I've taken some pillars, what I call pillars, 5 pillars of leadership, and I've kind of borrowed and stole some of them from various books, experience, and whatnot. And I think these are the most important things that the first-line supervisor or sergeant will be involved in and will be responsible for. And the first one is ownership. And, ownership is extremely important because, gentlemen, when you, starting today, on your shifts, when you go out there and you're assigned to a shift and you have people that you're now responsible for, you're going to own it. And every supervisor and every boss there is knows what that means. When things happen, you own it. And you're going to be held responsible for it. And that's the big difference. You're not just responsible for yourself anymore. You're responsible for other people. You're responsible for their safety, for their well-being. You're responsible for how effective they do the job. And you're responsible to the community at large in terms of the delivery of police services and how we do things. So it's an incredible responsibility what you're stepping up into. So ownership, extremely important. Contributing, it's always important everyone contributes, but you're gonna have to step up even more, because any shortcomings on your shift, you're gonna be responsible for, and you're gonna need to fill those shortcomings and figure out the best way to get things done. And team approach is never gonna be more important for you guys, because you really need your team. And without a team, it's tough to get things done. And to be responsible for an entire town during the course of a shift, you're gonna need that teamwork, and you're gonna need the folks that work for you on your shift to really pull together and work together. So then some other important pillars, commitment. Got to be committed to what you're doing and to how we're doing things. Professionalism goes without saying. And another pillar I think is really important is self-evaluation. And that's I've always thought that's the most difficult one, because it's hard to evaluate yourself. And it's hard to look at yourself and say, am I doing this well? Am I doing this right? Can I do this a little better? But I'm going to ask you guys, evaluate yourselves, evaluate your shift, evaluate how things are done, because that's very important. And that's how we improve. That's how we get better. So I don't know who this quote came from, but I think it's going to be very valuable for the two individuals getting promoted today. I think it's one of those anonymous quotes, and maybe it's like you've seen it on a poster on a wall, or that's where I saw it. But I think it's important. It's always resonated with me, and I think it's going to be something that if our two officers who are getting promoted today can understand and remember this and stick by it, they're going to be just fine. And it's called The Power of a Leader. It says, true leaders are not those who strive to be first, but those who are first to strive and give their all for the success of the team. True leaders are first to see the need, envision the plan, and empower the team for action. By the strength of the leader's commitment, the power is unleashed. So how effective you guys are is going to be all about leadership. So with that, I'm going to ask the two candidates who did, by the way, extremely well on the testing process, and that's why they're here today, along with their commitment over the years to come stand before everybody. And that would be Detective Lou Malzone and Officer Sean Ryder. So just a little bit about each one of these two new sergeants. Almost, you're not quite there yet, but almost. Lou Malzone. Lou came to us several years back, about 13 years ago, and roughly. And Lou joined the police department, and he had not been a police officer before, and I'm glad we hired him. He's done a fantastic job. He got promoted to detective. He's also a member of the Cape Cod Regional SWAT team. He's also a member of the Cape Cod Regional Drug Task Force. He's investigated numerous cases in the town of Chatham, all kinds of different incidents that we've had. And he has done a great job, and he has earned his place today as a sergeant. And then we also have Officer Sean Ryder. And Sean came to us 10 years ago, as you know, from the earlier recognition. And Sean came to us by way of Worcester. His dad, who's with us today, Captain Ryder, in the audience. And he's still, Sean's dad is still a captain with the Worcester Police Department. And we are extremely happy to have Sean. Sean's done a great job. He's been in patrol for his time here, but he's also been on the crash reconstruction team, and he's also been very active and involved in the Chatham Police Association and done a lot of good things with the community. So I couldn't be happier today to have these two fine gentlemen be promoted. And I am gonna, before we do the pinning of the badge, I'm gonna read the law enforcement oath and have them take the law enforcement oath of honor. And the reason I'm doing it before the pinning of the badge is because I want them to make sure they know what they're getting into. And this is the promise before they pin that badge on. Raise your right hand. On my honor,
On my honor,
I will never betray my badge,
I will never betray my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or the public trust.
or public trust.
I will always have the courage
I will always have the courage
to hold myself
to hold myself
and others
and others
accountable for our actions.
accountable for our actions.
I will always
I will always
uphold the Constitution,
uphold the Constitution,
my community,
my community,
and the agency I serve.
and the agency I serve.
That is the law enforcement oath of honor, and now we can do the pinning of the badges. And this is, to me, the best moment, because the pinning of the badges is like, now it's done. They are there. So with that, Kara, you want to come up, and we'll do Lou first. Brand new badges. Very tight. This, by the way, is the hardest part of the ceremony. And next, we're gonna have Joanna come up and pin the badge onto Sean. So with that, men, congratulations. You earned the badge that you now wear. With that badge comes great responsibility, much more responsibility than you had before. And it's gonna be a learning experience. You're gonna make a mistake or two along the way. Just make sure it's not a big one. And you're gonna be fine. You have some, as far as our command staff, some great leadership to look forward to and to learn from. Lieutenant Andy Goddard is going to be your direct boss, and Deputy Chief Mike Anderson, with their experience and with their knowledge, they're going to help you through. And I'll be talking to you every now and then to give you a few little tips here and there myself. So in any event, I just want to say again, thank you to all of you for coming today. This is just a great day in the police department. It's a great day for everybody that we recognized, and in particular for two officers that got a well-deserved promotion today, and we wish them all the best. So, one last applause.